You guys see me? Hi, Regis.
Hey, Robin.
How are you?
Doing good.
Hey, Robin.
Hi, Nick. How are you guys?
Anybody who's just joined us, we're just starting to put in the chat your name and chapter you represent.
Sure, I will. Don Bartolome, class of 1964.
Oh.
The oldest guy on the street. And I represent the CSRA Columbia, which is actually Georgia and South Carolina.
Okay, maybe we'll just wait one more minute for others to join and then kick off those around the room introductions.
Does that mean I have to do it again?
Yeah, because then we're going to ask you another question to go with that. So that was just a warm up.
I get a chance to practice.
Hi, Barb. How are you? It's my sister-in-law, Barb.
I'm well.
Really?
How are you?
All right.
Okay, so how about we go ahead and get started? Just a couple housekeeping notes. When you're not talking, if you'd want to mute yourself, that would be helpful. We're right now introducing ourselves in the chat, and this call will be recorded. My name's Heather Belgian. I've been with the Alumni Office since 2004, and I've enjoyed working with all of our chapters since 2017 when we had kind of a resurgence. YSU was in the national championship. There were some watch parties happening around the country. So we took advantage of that momentum to expand and have more chapters. Some of them I know, like Las Vegas, Arizona, and some of them have been going on for many years before that, but we really saw a lot of growth at that point. So a lot of you have been involved with the chapter since that time, and a couple are just joining us very recently. So it's good to have all of you. Joining us today also from the Alumni and Events Office is Brittany Deffabaugh, and I'll turn it over to Brittany first to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Brittany Deffabaugh. I started in the Alumni Office as a student, and now I'm here for full-time for about 3 years now. My job duties consist of the local alumni events here. I also help with the presidential events. I oversee Pete's Pride, and then I also keep in contact with our Pittsburgh chapter.
Great. Okay, so now we'll do those around the room chapter leader introductions. So if you could tell us your name, class year, again, the chapter that you represent, and if you'd like to mention a successful event that your chapter has had that comes to mind, or just an event you really enjoyed, you can throw that in there too. So Dawn, you started. Do you want to go first again and just add that little part?
Don Bartolome, class of 1964. I represent the CSRA Columbia chapter, Columbia, South Carolina. CSRA is takes in Augusta, Georgia as well. We have had a couple of very successful events that I'd like to mention. One was year before last, and we're doing it again this year. And that will be our Youngstown State night at the Green Jacket. And what we will be doing is we will have Youngstown State University night, inviting people from Youngstown in the area, and we will be with the playing against the Columbia team, the Fireflies. So that way we can pull both groups of people together for this event. Last year we had a total of family, friends, and so on, about 7 in 2019. This year we're going to be August 13th, and so we're really looking forward to that. And then our event that we have, we have volunteered helping the Tacoma clubs in this area. The golf tournament where we both play and volunteer to the children of Camp Tacoma that have hearing disabilities. And that's our charity we do. And so we're going to be doing that again on October 11th.
Hey.
Dawn, how about Jessica and Eric, Columbus? Do you want to go next since Jessica's next to Dawn?
Sure. Sorry, I'm trying to pull off into a parking lot so I can engage a little better. But my name's Jessica. Graduated in 2012, and me and Eric belong to the Central Ohio Columbus chapter, and I'm driving to Youngstown right now.
Hi, everybody. Eric Fulton, class of 94 and 2001. And I'm from Warren, Ohio, born and raised in Warren, Ohio. I have the privilege of seeing all the national championship teams win in football for all the years I was at YSU. And I would have to say that the most successful event that our chapter has had has probably been two events, and that's the casino night at a local casino down here in Columbus, which is actually a really nice place. I think we probably had over 120 folks, alumni there. And another successful event was, and always is, the Columbus Clippers, which is a Class A team here, baseball team, where we get together, have a picnic, and then watch the game and hope that we don't get hit with a ball down the first baseline. So, so happy to be here. Thanks, Heather and Brittany. Appreciate all your guys' help. Looking forward to the call.
All right. How about Sandra on the top row? Would you like to go next?
Hi. Well, I'm in Atlanta, and I left YSU in 1985, moved to Atlanta, and then I had to come back in 2010 because my mom was in end-stage dementia. So I finished a degree. So that's why you see 2017 with this old hit right here. But I'm in between Atlanta and Tampa, and I just recently got involved before COVID Chronicles, and we just had a get together at one of our local places here. And then I was in Sarasota. I went down to Y-Day in Sarasota because I'm halfway between Tampa and Atlanta.
Cool. Very cool.
We appreciate Sandra stepping up very recently to lead the Atlanta Alumni Chapter when our previous leaders had some new commitments. So she's going to be a new leader down there. Mike Yakavone, Mike Yakavone, would you like to go next?
Yes, ma'am. Class of Mike Yakavone, class of 1994, engineering, Greenville, South Carolina chapter leader. I know several of you on the phone. Nice to meet everybody else. I think successful meetings, Heather, I think anyone where it's me and one other person's been successful. And we've done great. But I think our first one, which was just casually over drinks and pizza, we had 35 attendees, I think was fantastic. So casual meetings, I think, was successful.
Great. Okay. Also on the top row there, Regis. How about Regis and Nick, our Pittsburgh chapter?
Nick, you want to go first?
Sure, Reg. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Dubas, Pittsburgh chapter, 88 graduate from YSU. Grew up in Camel. And in fact, my wife Sylvia and I, we purchased my parents' house. So we still have a house in Camel that we're working on, but we live in Pittsburgh, and I work at Duquesne University. which is building behind me, is campus building. And we have a number of successful events in Pittsburgh, but one of the more successful ones we had was with the Pirates game, where alumni came up from Youngstown, but we also had a lot of alumni from the area come down. And we did that a few years in a row, and we had, I'd say, at least total of 100 alumni between Pittsburgh and Youngstown. And it was a really good time, and the president was there. But we've had a number of successful events at restaurant type of settings. So we're looking forward to getting going once we get out of COVID. Regis and I talk all the time. We have a lot of events planned. So that's your cue, Reg.
As Nick said, we've had a lot of good events. It's been tough with Corona trying to get the gang together. We have a pretty good core, I guess, brain trust of a few other alumni that we kind of have some happy hours when it was better times, and we got together and just kind of spit ideas off each other and saw what we could come up with. But looking forward to trying to get back in the swing of things now with all the restrictions being lifted here in Pittsburgh, and the capacity for a lot of the sporting events should be at full by the end of summer. So maybe if we're lucky, Nick, this year we get the gang down to PNC. But a little bit about me, graduated in 2003, and I grew up in the Sharon area, right over the line in PA. So
Thanks, Regis. We'll go to Jane Reed next.
Hi, I represent the chapter at Las Vegas. I graduated in 1973, but then I worked at YSU from 1976 to 2009. Our most successful events, I think, have been when we've had the taste of Youngstown at people's houses, where people bring their favorite dish from Youngstown because you can't find pizza out here. It doesn't exist. We went to the Mom Museum, and I think there were 4 of us there. So that was our smallest event, but we had fun pointing out where Youngstown was on the map. And we went to a pizza place here and had over 32 people at the event. So usually we go out for dinners. We were going out 3 times a year. And then COVID hit. We planned on doing volunteer work at Catholic Charities, and then COVID hit, and the executive director is actually an alum. So, it worked out so well, and then it fell apart. So we're hoping to get started. Things are going to be 100% capacity here by June 1. So we'll see what happens.
Great. Thanks, Jane. How about Mike Hosterman?
Hey guys, Heather, thank you for everything that you've done. This has been great being part of this. It's great to meet you all. My wife went upstairs with our girls, but we have 2 daughters, and my wife Diana and I met at Youngstown State, so that was part of the reason of joining this. YSU is a special place for us and always will be. My wife's from East Palestine, and I grew up in the Boardman area. And we both graduated, and she graduated in 2004, and I was a year later, both in education, and we met in the education department. We started teaching out in Springfield local, and then we've been teaching in North Carolina now, in Wake County for about 13 years. And we started the Triangle chapter of North Carolina, so close to a few of the other chapters here, which is pretty neat. As far as the successful events, I think we had a couple. One that was really cool for me and some YSU baseball players, but then also we had one that was great for everyone. Starting with the baseball one, Heather helped me set up a fun day where the men's baseball team came down, and we saw that they were on the roster against, or the schedule against NC Central in North Carolina. So we planned a fun day where we hosted a dinner for the players, and the alumni came to that as well. And they really enjoyed that and really enjoyed the conversations with the players and with each other. But the coolest part of that for me was our students from our elementary school, when there was about 200 kids that we got to come out. We kept encouraging them to come out, and they wore red and black. So being a former baseball player that had no people watching the games, it was really cool to see all those kids cheering them on. And yeah, other than that one, that we had a great event also at an outdoor sitting area where we could just talk, like somebody else had mentioned. Just the one-on-one conversations were great. But I think I'm going to steal Jane Reed's idea of the Youngstown taste, because being in North Carolina, that's what we miss is the food. But that's about it, Heather.
Denny, you're up next.
All right, Denny Klaus graduated from YSU in '72, went on to graduate school in Tennessee, then came back and spent 32 years at YSU there, and retired in 2005. My wife and I have been down here in the Wilmington, North Carolina area just about all that time since then. And our chapter is really interesting. I mean, as everybody realizes, the southeastern North Carolina in particular is just growing so fast. It's just unbelievable to even just stay up with all the people that are coming here, both retirees as well as young people coming here, like on the droves. But our most successful programming here has been similar to what you just heard. We hosted banquets 2 years in a row for the women's softball team who were in tournaments down here at the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. And alums attended that. And we had all the students and the coaches and everything here to a country club where we had a really big spread for them. And they were really excited about that. And they enjoyed coming back. And they were supposed to be coming back this year as well. But I guess a lot of schedules have changed, and I'm not really sure what has happened. I haven't talked to Coach Campbell about their new schedule, to say the least, but that was great. But we also annually do we watch a game together at a local restaurant that I've worked out some details with them, where they cordon off a whole section of Buffalo Wild Wings kind of a place, and TVs everywhere. And so it's really funny, for 2 years in a row, we were in one entire section of the restaurant screaming like crazy, probably 30 or 40 of us. And then not too far away from us, all the Ohio State alums were there watching a game that was going on as well. So it was kind of an Ohio day at the restaurant, which was really cool. So that's about the extent of it.
Great, thanks, Denny.
Sure.
Next to Tom and Sue.
Well, hello, I'm Sue, and I graduated in 1977 from the College of Education, and just retired last year from teaching all those years. Tom and I are co-coordinators for the Charlotte chapter, and well, he's got a picture up, so I'll let him describe what we've been doing, and I might jump in with some details.
Okay. Well, I will tell you that Sue and I met at a YSU Alumni event back in 2012. And I think we only had about 12 people at that one. But when YSU was in the national championship game, I think that was around 2016, got a watch party together, and then the Charlotte chapter has just grown from there. We've had a couple of events at a local brewery, had 40 to 50 people at each of those events. We had a former YSU president at both of those, Dr. Sweet, who lives in Charlotte. We've also put together a few trips to softball games when the YSU softball team was down here. 1 year at Winthrop, 1 year at UNC Charlotte, 1 year at Gardner-Webb. Matter of fact, last year at Gardner-Webb, I think it was the last time they played before their season got shut down. But the girls, the women on that team know us and have come to expect bags of penguin crackers that we give them for their bus ride. And so we've had different turnouts for those, and sometimes we'll do something afterwards. We'll get together with the alumni that show up. We've also done a couple of get-togethers at a winery that there's a polka band from up north that comes down here, and one of their their saxophone player is a Danish School of Music grad. So we've done that. I should tell you, I'm a 76 grad of Youngstown State. Grew up south of Salem, Ohio. Went to United Local. Worked for a company in East Palestine that relocated me down here back in 1980. So I've been in North Carolina longer than I was in Ohio, and I think that's about it. So what did I leave out, Sue?
I think you covered it all. President Sweet and his wife came. That was a very nice time. And the softball team definitely loves those penguin crackers. I think they expect them now when they come to Charlotte.
Thank you both. Daniel, your turn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Hugg. I graduated from Youngstown State University in 2007. I represent the Indianapolis chapter, and as Heather may or may not have mentioned, I've been doing it for a whole week now. So I don't have any past events to talk about, but I will tell you that I've been feverishly taking notes as everyone's been talking about their successful events. I may have to copy a few of those. So it's great to meet everyone. I look forward to getting to know you guys. I grew up in the Cleveland area and just recently relocated to Indianapolis. So I'm really excited and happy to be a part of this group.
Thanks, Daniel. Max?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maxwell Gokala-Wynn. I have the distinct pleasure of representing two chapters. So the first is the Washington, D.C. chapter. I graduated in 2015 and I grew up in Canfield, studied psychology. Now I work in education at George Mason University right outside of DC. So I lead this DC chapter and have since 2016-ish. And then a few months ago, we started an LGBTQ plus chapter. So Kathy and I started that, and then Jessica joined us as well. So we each hold a dual partnership here in making sure that our efforts are good. For the DC chapter, the best events that we've had have involved a lot of alcohol, to be honest. We've gone through a lot of wineries, we've done beer tastings. We rented out a suite at the National Stadium. We went there and had a good turnout. And then the last chapter thing before COVID was we had a group of ROTC cadets come down and we hosted them for a barbecue dinner. So it was a very good event. I will let Kathy talk about our other chapter events, as they have also been very well and very well received.
Hey, I'm Kathy. I graduated in 2001 from YSU, and I currently live in Washington State, pretty close to the Canadian border, so I'm pretty far away. I got involved with the new chapter that we have with Max a couple months ago. We've just had online events because of COVID, and I think distance too. And we had some guest speakers and kind of just getting going with our groups, and also want to encourage everybody else who's alumni they can support our group and be allies. So you can check out like our Facebook page or something. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to us too.
Thank you both. Patrick has to leave shortly, so we'll go down to you, Patrick.
Awesome, thanks. I appreciate it, Heather. Again, thank you for everything that you do for us too. It's really cool that you and the team there really supports everything that we do. So everybody, my name is Patrick Becker. I'm a 92 graduate from the School of Business Administration. I'm the co-chair of the Arizona chapter, along with Wendy Taylor, who was a 1990 graduate, I believe. And Wendy and I have been co-chairs now for going on 5 years. And we have we try to do 2 to 3 events a year. We have our signature event is a spring training baseball game every year. And I think that we might have the distinction of having the last pre-pandemic shutdown event, We actually snuck in our spring training baseball game on March 8th, 2020, and then everything closed down a week later. So I think we might have squeezed in the last one. We didn't get a chance to do one this year because of restrictions, but we're looking forward to probably doing a Diamondbacks game toward the end of the season here, and definitely getting back on board with our fall event and our spring training game again next year. So it's beautiful down. We're desert penguins. We love that. With all the heat and all the warm weather down here, we don't miss the Youngstown snow. I agree with everybody else there. You can't get good Youngstown food down here, so we do the best we can. We try to find a good pizza place or something to gather before our spring training event. So it's nice to meet everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick. Robin?
Hi, my name is Robin Fulton. I'm a class of 2001. So hi, Regis. Just want to say thanks for reaching out from Pittsburgh. Our goal in Akron Canton is to really focus our energy on just doing different types of social activities, whether it's going to the bars, whether it's going to a banquet, center like the Spaghetti Warehouse. Our biggest turnout was at a baseball game. We did a voting to see where that would be, and we all picked the Akron downtown Arrows game at that time. But overall, I would say we've done biking down in Peninsula before, where we would just meet with our bike. We also, with another school psychologist who went to YSU, we set up a little graph. It's almost like a get to know you. So when we have our meetings, we always try to have some kind of activity or an icebreaker. The one thing I do really like about our group is a lot of the people go to Florida, so they participate in the Southwest. I think it's the Southwest group, the chapter. So whenever they tell me they're going to Florida, I'm still in contact with them through texting, but they sometimes go to both chapters when they have activities.
Thanks, Robin.
Yeah.
Barbara, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, you're muted.
I was muted. Okay. All right. Barbara Dubose. I graduated in 2004, 2007. I'm currently with the YSU Virtual Book Club. We're virtual for now, and we're possibly looking at doing in-person next year meetings with local authors. Currently, we are doing book giveaways, but as I said, we're just mostly virtual right now. I've been involved with it for the last couple months. It's just gotten off the ground this year, and Heather's been great, and we're trying to get everybody to read. And we're in partnership with the Mahoning County Library, and the librarians there.
Thank you, Barb. Daryl, your turn.
Hi, I'm Daryl Hatch with the Cleveland chapter, and have been involved off and on as a chapter leader for probably the last 15 or 20 years. The last 4 or 5 years, I've been a co-leader with Molly McMahon Graziano, who is actually stepping down. So we're looking to get some additional, hopefully younger leaders to work with us. Our probably most successful in terms of having recurring involvement events have been probably the Greater Cleveland Food Bank event. And then we've had various Cleveland sporting event activities. We've had a Cleveland Indians game. We've had a Cleveland Monsters game that have been pretty well attended. We had a tour of the historic Lakeview Cemetery, and that was well attended. And for us, I think 20, 25 or 30 people has been certainly good attendance. We'd like to have events where we can get more people than that, but we've also done new microbrewery or new businesses in Cleveland, such as Forest City Shuffleboard. We've had events there. We have not done really any virtual event during the last, I guess, 15 months. So we're looking forward to getting back to having in-person events. And we just sent out a survey. Heather helped us in sending out a survey. I just got those results back here this week. So we're going to certainly look at those results and focus on what people want to do, and then also focus on getting another person or a couple people to join our leadership group. Thanks.
Daryl. Well, I think that introduces everyone, and we expected that to take the bulk of the time, but hopefully you get a few ideas there. And if we do this again in the future, you'll be able to put some faces with the names. So just to reiterate, there was a few handouts or a few links that were included in the confirmation email, the chapter mission and goals. And that is just to kind of serve as a baseline for what we hope to accomplish. The goal of the chapters is to help graduates stay connected with YSU and each other through a beneficial relationship that supports the welfare of the university. And we wouldn't be able to have all these chapter connections all over the place without the leadership of the chapter leaders. So we currently have 27 alumni chapters. 4 are affinity based and 23 are geographic based. And in our department, alumni and events, Brittany and I are working on the alumni side. And then we have 2 other colleagues who work on the events side. So it's pretty small, and the leadership that you take really helps keep this going. Goals, normally the chapters would plan anywhere from 1 to 3 events over the course of a year. In 2021, we would like to see there be 1 in-person event for each chapter before the end of the year. And that will be at your discretion. Things are different all over the country. So if you find that people are not going to be receptive to that, maybe you'd consider a virtual event. One of those events could possibly be a service project. And locally, Brittany's going to be planning United Way's Saturday of Caring on Saturday, September 18th. So if there's other chapters around the country that want to do a service project on that day or a date nearby, we could bill it as an Alumni Day of Service. We've done National Volunteer Week in 2018 and 2019. And so this would be in lieu of that. But hopefully in 2022, we'll get back to National Volunteer Week in the spring. And then another goal would be maintaining communication on the chapter Facebook pages. That's been a challenge over the last 15 months because there hasn't been, much to report on as far as events, but you've all done a good job of trying to share YSU news, or when you have had virtual events, or just communicating as you've been able to. So we'll keep that up with each of the chapter Facebook pages. And as some of you mentioned when you were highlighting your past activities, any opportunities to welcome students, faculty, athletic teams to your area could be another goal. And that's just well received by the students or the faculty that have participated, as well as it seems like alumni enjoy those interactions. So we'll try to look to that in the future. So we're going to try to do breakout rooms, and this will be for 15 minutes. Zoom is going to automatically assign you to a breakout room, and then there will be a countdown, and you'll automatically come back here when that 15 minutes is up. But that might enable you to have a little bit more conversation. And one of the links that Brittany put in the chat and that was in the email is discussion questions for the breakout room if you need a starting point. So I've never done this before, and we'll see if it works. Let's see. So we're going to create 5 breakout rooms, and you're going to see something come up that says join after we open these rooms. Okay, so now they're open, and I think you should be seeing that you can join, and you'll start to leave as you do that.
Jane, maybe we're part of a group that's previous YSU alums who are previous employees of YSU.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I wondered if there's anybody else on this list that's like, I'm looking at the list. To
Heather would know. Heather would know.
Yeah, I think
George Hammer's on here. George Hammer's on here. He was.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's his son or if that's the George Hammer that was a cop with us when I wasn't a cop, but he was there when I was there.
Well, now I did work at the Student Union Pub. Does that count?
That absolutely counts. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
You there with Ed O'Neill?
I did. I did.
One of the funny things about that is that Ed was a good friend of mine. We went to St. Ed's together and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then when he was at the YSU at the pub, he wasn't real attentive. I had to fire Ed. And I said, Ed, why don't you go act instead of working at the pub? And from that point, he went to work to LA. So I'm responsible.
Just,
No, that's good.
Heather, I was just about to dispense some wisdom and then it cut us back over.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
All right. Well, I think that we'll use the last 10 minutes to report out from your groups any takeaways you want to share with a larger group. And we'll probably try to keep that to like 2 minutes per group if you can, just to be respectful of everyone's time. I know we're pushing it. So let's just go with room 1. Anybody want to report?
I mean, it was good. We just touched base on events about, I mean, it was just a lot of, it was nice meeting them, first of all. I'm just trying to think some of the things we said. I didn't take notes.
I can take, I took notes, Nick, if you want me to kind of touch on all of those points. So it seems like across all of the areas, baseball seemed to be a pretty popular, popular activity that brought a lot of people together. And also with Nick and Sandra both being in pretty big cities, trying to get people together, driving 30 minutes, battling traffic, trying to figure out a way, seems to be the biggest hurdle to get people together. And later events work better than 5 p.m. events. So, and for the second question, it looks like pretty much everybody was hit or miss, and it's all about location and timing and everything like that. And then Sandra had a really good point for our third question. We need to be the cheerleaders for opening up and really trying to encourage people to get back into the swing of things and come out and support the chapters and really set the stage for what's to come in 2021 and beyond. So Michael in South Carolina is open, but he's not real sure how everybody feels about gathering. So and then Nick, Pittsburgh is still a little bit closed down. They're opening back up slowly, but they're hoping to start doing smaller informal events and by the fall growing it into a larger event.
Okay, room 2, anyone want to share some thoughts?
Regis, you're on fire. Take it over.
You gotta unmute. Sorry, sorry, Regis. You gotta unmute.
There you go.
Hold on. I have to open a cheese stick real quick.
Hi, young Reg.
Hi, Nick. Well, I mean, one of the big things that we were just talking about in general was just with the outreach. One of the things too we never even really thought of is like leading into the fall, like if there was any way to outreach to any of the incoming freshmen that are in our areas to possibly have a luncheon, or maybe just like in the Pittsburgh area, like the local high schools, if the university knows like who are incoming students, like, hey, the alumni chapter is holding like a luncheon, a dinner, you're more than welcome to come meet, just, meet some alumni, ask questions about the university, and just kind of get the bug in their ear early that there's alumni representation and where they grew up. And this, so that way they already have that kind of already plugged into them before they even set foot on campus. And then second of all, maybe just trying to do a lot of our alumni, not a lot of our alumni events, but until we get back on our feet, I don't know which chapters have a large, parent community, but do events to where like, you can bring the children. I mean, a lot of times it's like you get great attendance at like 7 p.m. happy hour, but maybe if it was like a Sunday afternoon where everybody just goes to the park and barbecues and just brings food and coolers of beer and hangs out, you would get, a better turnout because, oh man, now I can bring the 2 kids. I don't have to worry about getting a sitter, and I can still see the whole chapter and hang out and catch up and discuss events. So those were kind of the big 2 points out of our convo. So.
On the background.
Yeah, you're in the background.
Thank you. Group 3.
Well, I'll speak just a little bit, then someone else may want to jump in here. I think one of the things we it sounds like group 1 had a business meeting. We were shooting the breeze. And one of the things we discussed was the fact that the lack of Youngstown food, we all miss it down here in the Carolinas. But I think the overarching thing was everybody felt such a strong attachment to YSU. There was a passion in our conversation that was really, heartening to say the least. Everybody's anxious to get events going again and connect with the people that are down here and perhaps find new people. Who are the new people that have come here? I know some have left, and I'm really interested in seeing who has come that you're aware of, Heather, that has come to the area. And we were even there was some conversations, perhaps doing some joint chapter activities, or at least, even if it's just the chapter leaders traveling, whether it's, 100 miles or whatever, to go to another chapter's event, just to kind of, show that connection between the different groups. But that's all I got. I mean, other than that, it was just good conversation. Anybody else want to jump in?
I like the idea of going and visiting with other people in the sense of going to other chapter meetings. I think that's a very good relationship building for community.
I agree. And it's a little easier when you're going Pittsburgh to Cleveland than it is going from Wilmington to Charlotte. I mean, there is a difference here. It's a haul to go from one place to another.
And I like Nick, he joined our Zoom meeting, and I just really appreciate him taking the time to join our Zoom meeting a month ago. Thank you.
Yeah, Robin invited me and I went, and we never had a Zoom meeting. I just thought people maybe were too zoomed out, but she had a nice turnout. So I told her she inspired me. And then Regis and we had a Zoom meeting and we had a nice turnout. So that was something, I learned from the Akron Canton group.
Great.
I think that was a great idea because I was just in Wilmington, North Carolina 2 weeks ago, and I could have hooked up. And then Greenville is like, 2 hours away from me, an hour and a half. So you guys see this face, I'm coming to see you.
All right.
Well, and we were just in Wilmington also 2 weeks ago. So we could have all gotten together.
Holy mackerel. We'll all meet at Caprice Bistro downtown. The best little.
We're there.
Yeah, I love that place.
Good food.
Oh, yeah. The very
They
best.
have cocktails because that's what I'm missing.
What was that? What are you missing? Didn't get that.
Cavatelli.
Oh, Cavatelli.
Thank you.
Oh boy, miss some.
Hey, Denny, we got family in Wilmington too, and family that teaches at St. Mark's, the church right there?
Saint what?
Is it St. Mark's, the
yes
Catholic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Family that teaches there, so I'll get in touch with you when we come down.
Well, okay, sounds good.
Wilmington can be the East Coast meeting spot.
There it is.
Telling you, it
was
is
great.
already.
I had some great cannolis in Wilmington.
Wow.
Heather, will you be able to send us like a link of everyone's email, or do we just go on to the chapter website?
It's in the chat.
Okay.
I'll resend it right now so then everybody has it right at the bottom of the chat.
We got that though, didn't we? In our correspondence,
Yeah.
the list was in there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the email list was.
All right, how about group 4?
Oh, I guess that's us. Well, we didn't see all the directions in the email, so we just kind of talked a little bit also.
I like that.
Well, teachers never read the directions. So, but our conversation centered around definitely food. And, some of the, the sports teams, whether it be YSU or the sports teams in our areas. We too talked about the challenge, the obstacle of alums having to travel distance. And I gave the example that, Charlotte is a large area. And if someone's coming from North Charlotte and we're having an event in South Charlotte, it could take them up to an hour to get there. So, we have that geographic challenge. We talked about definitely wanting to do provide different types of service opportunities, for the alums as things begin to open up more. But one thing, Heather, would it be possible for you to let us know of any incoming freshmen who are from our area? Do you have that kind of
thing? I'll look into with admissions. We should be able to get that information.
Mm-hmm. Because, if someone's from the Charlotte area, we could, reach out to them.
Yes.
I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah. I'll look that up or try to get that information and share with any of you that it pertains to for sure.
And also, how often does your alumni list get updated?
We can update it whenever you're talking about like a list of email addresses and names of everyone in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that as needed. We would just report. So whenever you would like that, we can share it.
Who's working on that these days, Heather? Who's working on that list these days?
Well, probably Jackie Levisser is our database custodian.
Pam retired, right?
Pam retired.
Okay.
And Brittany's taken over a lot of the work that Pam used to do.
Okay.
We're all getting up to speed.
Heather, is the like the leadership thing with the football game and the happening again this year? I mean, I've always had to miss it because it's always fell on an unfortunate date.
Oh, you mean the chapter leaders summit?
Yeah, I mean, like the 2 year. I mean, it's like whatever date you schedule that on, I have like a huge camping trip or like my son has something.
I think for 2021, we're just gonna do maybe something like this again. We don't have anything planned, but
so even if football's back at full capacity, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
Well. In the future, though, I mean, it will come back, though, right?
The Chapter Leader Summit, yeah, I mean, could. This is good with Zoom that we can get people all over the country without anybody having to hop on a phone. If there's interest, we can do something like that again for sure.
Can you send all of us cold packed Handel's ice cream?
Oh yes.
I mean, I could try and bag up some Golden Dawn meatball splashes and just send it
my sister lives in Long Beach, California, and she was in an area of Long Beach, and she said, my God, they opened the Handel's restaurant in Long Beach, because they're opening at a lot of places.
They're franchising, yeah.
We have one here. We have one in Vegas.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's
one in Oregon, in Portland.
Yep. Portland, yep. They just need one in Seattle and I'd be happy.
Great.
That Kathy?
Anyway,
yeah, me, sorry.
I was going to say I'd be in favor of a group meeting again too. So when we're able to do it, I'm
okay.
Good stuff.
That
we're going to Wilmington.
A good time to do it.
I had a little reverse thing, Kathy. I sent you an email just a few minutes ago, and I know you're in up Washington State. I've got a son that's in Issaquah,
okay,
just outside of Seattle. So I kind of a reverse thing. Everybody's coming here. My son went there. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So we moved to the beach, and my sons went to Seattle and San Antonio. Tells you something,
nice. Yeah, I've been out here for like 13 years now. We used to live in North Seattle, and then we just wanted to get away from the city, and so that's where we ended up this way. But yeah, I'm really familiar with Issaquah, and I used to work in Kirkland. I used to manage housing over there.
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
I know it.
And Heather, does each chapter have a Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's really helpful if you all, be sure to publish all your events so that, for those of us that are nearby or, that might be in Wilmington, we might be able to, come to some of those things.
Sure.
And I don't know if this would be really used, but we could always create a Facebook group, like a private group just for the chapter leaders. I could create that and
Interesting. Yeah.
communicate there as well. But you also have the chapter leaders roster if you want to email each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to say it is nice to see some people who I haven't seen, probably since the last chapter meeting. And so, so I do agree with Regis. So that was a really nice event, so hopefully in the future we'll have that again.
I think we didn't hear from group 5 yet. Did anybody want to share anything?
So the only thing that we have to share that wasn't already said was just being that Daniel and Barbara both have newer chapters or they're new leaders, that you shouldn't be afraid to try and to back it up with data. The alumni office is really, really flexible as long as you can show there's an interest. So Eric talked about creating a survey and sending it out to collect that data from your membership. Columbus, is pretty large with about 4,000 alum, and DC is pretty large with about 2,000 alum.
Wow.
So being able to have an understanding of where people are coming from, as someone else mentioned, the distance, like I gave the DC example, I'm in Gainesville, DC, the DMV expands all the way up to Baltimore. So collectively it's say 80 miles, which is pretty big, but it could take you 2 hours or it could take you 7.5, depending on traffic. So it really just has to depend where people are coming from, how far they're willing to travel, and having an understanding of who your membership is before you create an event and you ask people to waste money if it is not well attended.
Great. Well, for some next steps, there's been a few chapters that have sent out surveys in the last week or so to get some ideas for opening back up. If anybody would like to do that, I can share what Columbus or Cleveland or Indianapolis has as an example, and you could just tailor that to questions you might want to ask. Just let me know. Look towards an in-person event for each chapter in 2021. And if you'd like to keep that date of September 18th in mind, if you're interested in a service project this year, that could be a good date for that. So we have passed the hour mark. I will hang around. If anybody has any questions I can help with right now. But I really thank all of you for being here. If you would like to do this again, we can do this quarterly or we can do it more often. Let me know what the interest is. Maybe I'll look into creating that Facebook group too. So I think you have so many great ideas to share with each other. And I really enjoy seeing all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
One more thing, before we all go, if everybody just wants to smile really quickly, I'm gonna get a group picture. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not there. I just hurried and put my camera on really fast.
Oh, okay, I can redo it.
Okay.
Daryl, you want to get on the camera? Okay.
I don't.
Is everybody here? All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brett, for doing that.
Hey, Heather, I think a minimum of like quarterly meetings like this would be helpful at a minimum quarterly. So just my input.
Yeah, I agree. I think having these at least every quarter is good.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I make the motion.
I'll second it.
We can do that. And the meeting was recorded to send to anyone who couldn't make it today, but I'll just send it to everyone in case you want to look back at anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for your help.
Everybody.
Hey, Heather.
Bye.
Hey, Heather, I had a question real quick. Are you still on?
Yes.
Oh, hey, did Brenda, was she able to pick up those little penguin?
Actually, our student delivered those to her, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Last week. That was great. I'm so glad you thought of that to get her 50 of them so she can spread them around.
Cool. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to check in.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. All right. See you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Heather, I would just comment that maybe if we could meet like maybe twice a year, even not quarterly, I mean, I think would be wonderful. So
Okay.
I don't know if we need to do it quarterly, but if we can meet
Yeah.
times a year, I think that'd be great.
Or even if we do it quarterly, if there's interest in that. There was, a few that didn't join us today, so maybe everybody won't come every time, and that's fine too.
True. Very good point.
Thank you very much, Heather. This was very productive, and talk to you soon.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Heather, real quick question is Streetscape, is Alumni organizing? Because I signed up, but I just, Sylvia and I signed up. So I don't know if Alumni is doing anything. If you are, we could put me in your group.
Yeah, we are. I'll ask Brittany to put you in the group. We're going to meet at the Mocha House before at 8 o'clock that day, the Mocha House downtown.
Okay, yeah.
So that'll be great to see you there.
Okay, awesome.
Bye,
Okay.
Heather. Thank you very much.
Bye, Robin. All right.
Bye-bye.
Heather, thank you.
See you guys.
Bye. See you,
Take
everybody.
care.
Nick.
All right, I guess I'll hang up there. Okay.